Hello and welcome to the Philippines. Here I am. Wait a minute, that's not me. Anyway, things I have learned about living, about staying alive in the past several years. And I'm going to try to get directly, I could ramble on for an hour or two, but I'm going to try to get directly into the subject and maybe save some of you guys and girls. Now, first, a disclaimer. I am not a doctor, a lawyer, a pharmacist. I'm not giving any medical advice. I'm not giving any kind of advice at all. I'm going to share with you some things that I've discovered, some resources. I'm going to point you in those directions so you can learn just a little bit yourself. I know many of you know some of these things, are familiar with some of the resources already. But it is amazing. The more I learn, it is amazing that you can actually become quite a bit healthier in a very short period of time, it seems. Now, there is heredity involved. I had a son-in-law who had a heart attack. His father had a heart attack when he was 45 and died. He had a heart attack when he was 35 and he died. So there's some heredity factors, but he was also pushing his lifestyle. He probably could have extended his life for many, many, many years. One of the reasons I want to do this is that in the last 4 years I've been in the Philippines, almost 5 years now, is that I've seen a number of foreigners die very quickly. Seem to be healthy one day, they get sick, they go to the hospital, and very shortly after that they died. Didn't know they had the disease. Several of those cases, could have they changed their diet, their lifestyle just a little bit, and made a major improvement? I don't know the answer, but I suspect in some cases they could have. I found this chart online for the Southeast Asian countries, kind of interesting. Philippines there is, I've noticed, unfortunately, I have noticed that the Philippines is trying to catch up with other countries and other Western countries as well. Um, anyway, that is, carbs. Everybody knows the carbohydrates and all the processed food that we eat. That is causing a lot of this. I love carbs. I can tell you, I have cut back drastically in the last year or so, having learned some of the things that I've learned. One of the contributing factors, it seems, to the severity of the present medical virus situation is obesity, as well as other underlying high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, those types of things, which are usually often associated with being overweight. So let's get right into the meat here and some of the reference material. You'll have to do some of your own homework, your own research if you're interested. This guy, Dr. William Davis on YouTube, he's written a number of books and has done a lot of studies with various types of things. In fact, magnesium, we're all short of magnesium. We don't get it in our water anymore, which is filtered, or the food that we eat generally. You can make a very good absorbable form of magnesium, and he has a recipe for it. You can find a couple recipes online. Get unflavored milk of magnesia without the sodium hypochlorite, and use some carbonated water, and there's a process you do, mixing them together, letting them sit, and using part of that in adding that little bit of that to water each day and drinking, starting like with a fourth a cup, I think. Too much magnesium can give you diarrhea, so you have to be aware of that and kind of work your way on up. Magnesium, very, very important to your physical and mental health. This guy has a lot of good videos, very informative videos, 5 to 10 minutes, many of them quite short actually, on a number of subjects, diabetes and other subjects as well. I will bring up a couple other doctors here after this guy, but this Tomas De Lor, many of my subscribers are familiar with him. He's low carb, more high fat type guy. Puts out a lot of information, interesting information. amazing how much information that he puts out, and it's worth a listen even if you don't want to copy his lifestyle. Anyway, these are all YouTube channels that you can go to, and then they, of course, many of them sell books and various different types of things. Guy's not a doctor, but he is extremely knowledgeable in the area of health and nutrition. Ivor Cummins puts out a lot of good videos, especially related to the present medical situation. Lots of graphs. He's written some books and a lot of studies about vitamin D, and it seems that vitamin D factor, people who have a very low vitamin D tend to get much more severe cases of the virus. And I'm not giving any advice. I will tell you that I take 500 international units of vitamin D in a oil-based gel cap, because I have read a couple places that the regular solid tablets are not absorbed very well. I've read that the drops that you use are tend to be rather inconsistent in absorbing them and in the quality. So I take a gel-based vitamin D3 actually. But I'm not giving any medical advice. Just make sure you understand that. Do your own research and then decide what you want to do. You know, the media and the politicians spend thousands and thousands of hours talking about illnesses and that sort of thing. How much time has been spent on nutrition, on health, and how to personally combat something like this? Almost nothing. The Diet Doctor. This was recommended to me by one of my subscribers some time ago, and they put out a lot of good information. Important point to remember: there's a lot of controversy on a lot of medical treatments for the direction some of these, the Diabetic Association, those types of things. There is controversy. There are people who are suggesting alternative ways to treat and take care of those types of things, reduce the risk of diabetes, and even bring it down in the cases that are possible. And I'm not giving any advice. I'm just pointing you to some resources. Anyway, you have to go searching for that information, and in this age of with Microsoft and Google and Facebook in a where they're shutting down so much information, sometimes it's difficult to find information. And I'm sure I'll have some of you commenting, and I appreciate your comments, and advising other sources of information as well. I know that some sources are being shut down because they don't go along with the mainstream thought on some things. And personally, I think there should be an open discussion, open, honest discussion when there is disagreement on different types of treatments. That is just an introduction. Here's a chart, deaths by age group. I think that was in Boston. And anyway, I try to get most of my nutrition from food. I don't always eat healthy. But I'm eating more healthy. I also take certain vitamins. I take like 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day. And vitamin C also, it's one of those things you take as much until your bowels tell you when when it's enough, because you'll start having loose stools, is what I've read. I also take kelp tablets. Basically seaweed, I guess, for iodine. We don't, everybody's cut back on their salt, and I've read that salt doesn't stay in the iodized salt that long. It can evaporate over time as well. So anyway, I've read that we're all short of iodine, and has some issues, and Dr. Davis goes into some of those there. Again, he has lots of very short videos where he explains some of that stuff. Anyway, just an introduction, and if you, those of you who are interested, I know many of you already know some of this, are watching those types of videos. There's many more out there. Dr. Andrew Kaufman, somebody mentioned him the other day. and others as well. But anyway, thank you for watching. Please like the video, share the video, and subscribe. So hope you're all staying healthy and even healthier after watching this. And we'll see you next time.